The king of the north!
Dracarys.
I will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
The long night is coming, and the dead come with it.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. And today, it looks like we are getting some official word directly from HBO exec Casey Boyles on the upcoming Jon Snow spin-off series and some of the other A Song of Ice and Fire spin-off series that were potentially in development at HBO. And just as House Stark is set to make its triumphant return in House of the Dragon with Cregan and the rest of House Stark, it looks like we are going to have to wait quite a long time to see any other Stark members on any other spin-off shows, as the Jon Snow spin-off series is reportedly not moving forward anytime soon. A few months ago, we reported how the Jon Snow spin-off series was getting worked on by some of the HBO writers behind the scenes in hopes that they could get it up to snuff for a potential greenlight, which certainly seems to speak to the fact that HBO was not overly impressed with the script. In a recent interview, HBO exec stated, "We always have Game of Thrones scripts in development," and states how they just got done greenlighting the Dunk and Egg spin-off series for HBO, which is based on George's A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms novellas, but then goes on to state that he wouldn't say that there is anything else in that world that is close to getting greenlit, and states that they've been trying to be thoughtful about which stories that are worth telling, which would be exciting, what would the fans love, he states. Dunk and Egg is one of those, but not the only one. But for right now at least, it seems like the Jon Snow spin-off series is not worth telling for them in its current form, which is a bit of a bummer. Ever since the Jon Snow spin-off series was first announced, it seems like fans have been kind of split down the middle as to whether or not they want the Snow spin-off series or not. Some really looking forward to it, and others really not wanting it to happen at all, which is certainly understandable given the mixed reactions that a lot of people got to the finale of Game of Thrones. They did also go on to state that they are always working on different scripts and ideas, but they didn't mention any of these by name. No status on the Corlys Velaryon series, the Nymeria series, or any of the other potential series that they were working on behind the scenes. As of right now, it seems like the only thing that we're going to be getting is House of the Dragon and Dunk and Egg, at least for the foreseeable future. And given the current climate in the film industry at the time, it doesn't come as too much of a surprise. We just received word that another really good series, Chapelwaite on MGM Plus, will not be renewed for a second season, and this comes after Season 2 was already heavily into development. And unfortunately, I think a lot of this goes back to the strike that has been taking place over the last few months in Hollywood. Now, of course, the writers were able to hammer out a deal, but the actor strike is still very much at play. And we did recently hear studios put out a statement that if the strike continues to go on indefinitely, they will have to start canceling certain series. And I do think this could potentially be the beginnings of that. I wouldn't be too surprised if we start seeing a flurry of series get canceled that would have otherwise been moving forward. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully the actor strike gets wrapped up pretty soon and everyone can get back to work with a fair deal. But as of now, unfortunately, it seems like the Jon Snow series is dead in the water. Now, that doesn't mean that it is dead forever. It could potentially get made at some point down the road, but I would not expect Jon Snow to get greenlit anytime soon. Again, which is a bit of a shame. When we first heard about the Jon Snow spin-off series, it seemed like George and HBO were both pretty excited about the prospect, with even George R. R. Martin seemingly giving his blessing to the series. And it seemed like Kit Harington himself was very eager to return to the role of Jon Snow. And seeing as Jon Snow's story arc in Season 8 was one of the weaker ones, it would have been nice to see him return to the character with the prospect of potentially getting a better ending for Jon Snow. When all of these Game of Thrones spin-offs were first announced months ago, I thought for sure the Jon Snow series would have been one of the ones that definitely would have gotten greenlight, just considering the popularity of the character and Kit in the role. But having a good concept for a show and having a good script are two very different things. And unfortunately, as excited as George and HBO potentially were about the Jon Snow series, it seems like they thought the script itself was not quite up to par yet. But at least as of right now, it seems like fans are going to have to wait quite a long time before we see Kit Harington suit up as Jon Snow again. But that is going to do it for us today on the breakdown for the latest news coming out of HBO. And of course, we'll be keeping our ear to the ground for any further developments. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit a like on your way out, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications as well to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And don't forget to come and hang out with us live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Hour of the Dragon live streams where we talk all things A Song of Ice and Fire. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
King in the North!
Dracarys.
I will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.